Hi, friends. It has been a very long day. We've spent a lot of time in conversation with the Coordinating Council today about Northminster's response to the spread of COVID-19 in Louisiana, and we have the beginning of a plan that we wanted to share with you face to face.
We recently heard an interview in which a political journalist said the words, "Identity activates under threat." We've seen the worst of what this can mean in the political divisions and the rhetoric of the past few years, but we also believe that we can see this truth playing out in beautiful ways as well. And here's what I mean by that. We are currently facing an exponentially growing global pandemic, a very clear threat. And we must decide now to allow that threat to activate our identity as followers of Jesus, people embodying the radical, divine love of God and protecting the most vulnerable.
This is why we've decided that the most faithful way that we as a church can embody the love of Christ is to take decisive measures now to enact social distancing. Most immediately, that means making the call to cancel all in-person gatherings, including worship. This is how we will love best in this difficult moment. We know for some of you this may seem like an overreaction, but for social distancing to be an effective method of curbing the spread of the virus, it has to be enacted early. If we wait until the virus is rampant, we've waited too late. We have to work under the assumption that there are already undiagnosed people in our community and act in the interest of not overloading our local healthcare system. This is the only way we can ensure vulnerable people will have access to care when they need it. There's a link in the email we're sending that explains what it means to flatten the curve and why it's an ethical obligation.
Now, practically, this means the Coordinating Council, as well as the staff, have made the decision to postpone our production of Daughters of Eve and cancel all in-person meetings for the next week. And that means commission meetings, Sunday's business meeting, Wednesday's book study, and worship on Sunday. We'll be reevaluating this decision on a weekly basis. If you're on a commission and would like help figuring out how to meet online, then please reach out and we can help you. Now, to be very clear, canceling the physical gathering for worship does not mean canceling worship. We'll be streaming a digital adaptation of our service over YouTube, and we'll send instructions tomorrow on how to access that stream and what it will look like. We'll be practicing community without communing. This gives us an opportunity to approach worship from a different angle for a while, which will have its own unique benefits that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to explore.
We will be relying heavily on the Family Ministries Commission in the coming days to provide assistance to anyone who needs help accessing the live stream. In the meantime, let's all remember best practices for preventing the spread of the virus, and you can find suggestions listed in the email.
Let's also keep the following 3 things in mind as we make our way through this season. First, as we said, identity activates under threat, which has meant an increase in xenophobic rhetoric. Please be aware of this and commit to being agents of God's peace and empathy.
Second, don't forget to check in on one another. There are certainly members among us who will be feeling lonely and anxious during this time, and a phone call, a text, an email, a Facebook message can work wonders.
And finally, we've made the decision to continue to pay our childcare workers and musicians who are depending on this income even if we don't meet. So please don't forget to give while we are scattered. We're still depending on your contributions. So please feel free to reach out to us or any of the Coordinating Council if you have any questions or concerns about anything we've said.
We'll be in touch tomorrow with details about our online gathering for worship this Sunday. So may we each find spaces of peace and calm as we learn what it means to be the church in this anxious season.